Hey everyone, I am jumping on here live with Megan Davies, singer-songwriter, indie artist, guitarist, YouTuber, you name it. Megan is so kind to join me live today so that we can chat just about, her life, about the industry, about how she got started doing what she's doing, what her experience has been like, and any advice that she has for those of you that are looking to potentially pursue the same path, or that are currently pursuing that same path. So definitely jump in the comments, add your questions, and I see you, Megan. So as soon as she requests, I will let her in and we can start chatting. Oh, there she is. And yes, I have to sing it. Hello, guys. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I've never done one of these.
You have it once. I always forget because I do these once a month, but I still forget that it chops off part of your head.
Right. I was like,
I know. We have to decide, like, do we want chin chopped off?
Right. Yeah.
Forehead chopped? Yeah.
do you want my chin or my forehead?
Yes. I think it looks perfect how it is.
Oh, thank you.
How are you?
I am good. I'm really good. Monday, trying to, get motivated for the week, but yeah, really good. Pretty
good.
Chill. How about you?
I'm good. Isn't it hilarious? Because we're like, hello, Megan, how are you? And like, girl, I'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
But you are so nice. I saw your, you're always so nice, but I saw your post just saying you were coming out of your
my cave.
Your cave. That's right. The studio cave to come chat with folks. And I know a lot of people that are going to be jumping on live or watching this after know who you are. But for those who don't know who you are, do you mind sharing a little bio blurb?
Yeah. Okay. Who am I?
Tell me about little Megan.
My name's Megan. I'm a YouTuber.
Yes.
You can tell I've done this a lot recently. I'm
totally putting you on the spot too. So sorry.
I should have prepared this a little more. So basically I'm a singer-songwriter here in Nashville, and I kind of got my start doing YouTube covers, acoustic versions of popular songs with and I would regularly kind of feature and I still do this, but I've kind of been doing it for the past 7 years, and I'll regularly feature other independent artists here in Nashville, and we'll do covers together. And so I built this YouTube channel doing covers with with people here in town, and then my little sister sings as well. And yeah, so and then it's kind of become big enough to do full time, which is great. And I also write songs and have released original music, and have toured a lot pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so and that kind of sums it up, I guess.
Yeah, well,
I hit all the main points.
You did, and I was going to say, people, I don't know if you can see the comments, but you've got some fire emojis.
Oh, really?
I'm assuming, of course, those are for you.
Cool.
And some hearts. Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on the
all right, awesome.
comments and everything. But yes, I would say that it's been going well. I mean, you have well over 1 million YouTube subscribers, and I was looking, your Spotify plays are 1 million every month.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm very thankful for everything that's happened, and yeah, so it's been a fun ride for sure.
Well, I would love, and like I said, thank you so much. You're so nice to take your time and to come out of your studio cave to chat. And I just know that, besides people who love you that just, like the opportunity to get to learn more about you and, hear you talking a little bit more about your life and your experiences outside of, it's not outside of your music, but not in song form.
Yeah.
But I also know there's just a whole lot of artists that are either working to do what you have been doing so successfully right now and or are hoping to do that. And so I would love, if you're game, I guess first just to talk a little bit about how you got started. I know you said you got started doing covers, and your thing was like these crazy cool mashups, which probably you guys already are. And I think I tagged it in here, and definitely your Instagram is tagged, but go to Megan Davies YouTube and check them out. It's ridiculous. Every time I hear one I haven't heard, I'm like, that is incredibly cool.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those. But yeah, I guess
yes,
definitely the early hits were the mashups, and how we to literally take two songs that would have like the same chord progressions basically and sing them on top of each other at the same time. And it's kind of like a trick of the mind a little bit. Like you really have to like focus to not like, start singing with the other person. But yeah, so.
Well, and so can you talk a little bit about, it says hi from Argentina.
Oh, hi.
Hey. And I'll speak for you. I'm assuming it's for you. So
okay.
Megan says hi. A little bit, can you talk a little bit about how, like, what made you decide to start like posting on YouTube? Kind of what was that early experience like? Like, you know what I mean? How was it something where just automatically you started posting and just blew up like crazy? Did it take time? Kind of what was that early experience like, if you don't mind sharing a little bit of that? Oh, love from India too. Gosh, thanks you guys.
Live tonight. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the early experience, basically I went to Belmont University here in Nashville. I went to college music, and I studied, I ended up with a major in songwriting actually, which is very ironic that I've gotten into this covers world. And classical guitar was my other focus. And I graduated and I had no idea what I was going to do or how to make money or how to live in Nashville and pay rent. So I got a job at Sony. I actually worked at Sony for a bit, crunching numbers on the music business side, like the way, like, the way business side. And that was paying, rent while I was trying to figure it out. And that's when we started doing the covers. And honestly, the first one I did, I didn't even like it. Like, my sister edited it. Like, we did this video of it was a mashup of Radioactive Pumped Up Kicks, and we did it because my sister wanted to make it for her birthday.
Well, I was gonna ask, I was like, did you guys do it were you thinking like, we're gonna put this out here and really hope it takes off, or was it more just like Jacqueline was like, hey, it'll be fun for my birthday?
I was broke, so I could not pay for a birthday present.
I think I and many musicians watching, we all feel that.
Right.
Yeah. Part of it. Yeah. At some point.
Yeah. And, I was doing a lot of recording and things like that. And she was like, hey, can we do this? It was something we were playing around with, and, a video. And I was like, the entire time we were doing the video part, I was like, this is so stupid. Like, it's hilarious that that was kind of the genesis of it, because I really was not open. I imagine myself behind the scenes, I think, like playing guitar for someone, or producing even maybe, or like playing on stage, but not being like in the limelight. Like, it took a while to like come to like
terms with that.
Yeah, like being like, yeah, I do actually like being in the limelight, and B, like, want to be an artist. Like, it took a while, but
well, and not to, I'm totally interrupting you, so I apologize, but I was just going to say, I think that that's important, and a lot of people resonate with like, this is not what I thought I was going to be doing. I went to school and I graduated thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, And when you guys were like you playing around, and then that turned into like very much this whole successful career that you're still trucking with.
It's so funny because I think at the time too, like I majored in songwriting, and songwriting is a very like real job here, but I realized very quickly that I don't really write country music. and a lot of my songs are pretty much for myself, like,
Yeah.
so like I just had a very particular way of writing, and I realized quickly that that avenue wasn't really something that was opening up to me. So it was just, yeah, I was definitely figuring it out, and it was quite like playful in a way, like how we made the first video, because even when, you know, Jacqueline was editing it and I was complaining about making it, and I, you know, had 2 glasses of wine while we were...
But you know what, that probably, I mean, I know I talk about a lot, you and I have talked about a lot, but I just talk a lot about in general to lots of artists about how, you know, sometimes it's such a singing, creating music, but singing specifically is just such a mental thing. I agree. We're getting a lot of messages. Hi from Pittsburgh. That was from Jacqueline.
Oh yeah.
Hi, you guys. And then some people are now saying Megan is awesome. Fully agree. But you know what I mean? It's such a mental thing. So I feel like when people put themselves in situations, or aspiring artists put themselves in situations where they're like, I'm going to make this video, and if this doesn't go off, man, I don't know if I can handle it. Like, this is the, you know what I mean? This is the decision maker. And instead, you guys went into it just like having fun. I'm not, as a vocal health proponent, saying go drink it up before, but that probably didn't hurt things. You know? Like, you guys were just chilling, enjoying yourselves, and you weren't putting too much weight on it. And it ended up being a really, I think that translates.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think so too. Like, looking back, it's so funny. You don't really recognize it, I guess, or I didn't recognize it in the moment that was kind of going to be the catalyst for a lot of things. But yeah, Jacqueline made it, and honestly, I didn't even want to post it. Like, I was like, you know, it's so funny how like self-conscious you can be, like, as an artist, wise, and you know.
Yep, you kind of have to get over yourself.
Yeah. like it's hard to watch yourself on video and camera and stuff all the time, but so anyhow, I think we ended up posting it on Facebook, and I'd always like shared songs that I'd written, and just random video guitar things, and you know, I felt like there would be family and friends would be like, hey, good job, like,
yeah,
like that. And for the first time, I just noticed like friends were sharing it, but like friends of friends were sharing it. Like, we posted a video, and then someone, it was like, you know, someone I didn't know shared it, and I was like, oh, they're not obligated to share it, and they thought it was cool enough to share. And I think that was like the first sign. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't like it went viral on Facebook or anything, but I just noticed it was like turning heads in that way, I guess.
Yeah.
So we posted it after that. I posted it on YouTube, and
this was how long ago?
This was 2013. This is like a while ago.
A while. A hot minute, as they say.
Maybe 2014. One of those. Yeah. I have no idea.
Time, like 7, 8, 9 years ago. Girl, you know my concept of time is,
I mean,
long gone.
So we posted it, and I think it got like 5,000 views or something. Like, it got like, at the time I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is awesome. And it just, you know, I think I was just like, okay, like, let's do it again, like, make another one. So of course Jacqueline lived far away from me. She lived up in Pennsylvania, and I was here in Nashville, and so she came down a couple weeks later, and we did like another one, and then I got like, you know, twice as many, and I was like, maybe like, we do another one.
And having no fan base, so you didn't know marketing, no anything. It just, I mean, I say this, I'll put something on YouTube. Sometimes it gets like 1,000. Sometimes it gets 20. It's hilarious.
It's
so like it just happened.
It totally just started happening, and it was slow because like this is over like a couple months maybe. Because Jacqueline,
That's not that slow though. I mean,
but
some people it's like years. But I hear what you're saying.
5, it felt like I was itching to get out of that job.
Totally.
That was like the slow part, I think. But we did another one, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like more of my friends who live in Nashville, because I didn't want to be like in a video by myself. Like, this is how ridiculous I was. And so I got a friend of mine, Emily Hackett, who was someone that I was, playing the listening room with here in town and doing, like writers' nights and stuff. And then and like some other kind of Belmont University singer-songwriter. And I would do a cover with them, and I'd do it the same way I did with Jacqueline. I would kind of produce it and edit the video. At this point, I started editing the videos myself.
Yeah.
And then once I realized it was going, like, it was like 3 or 4 videos in, and it was going like doubling each time. And I was like, now this is when you grind. Like, this is marathon that they all talk about. And I really did. I just kind of put like my foot on the gas. And I mean, I was working, the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever the hours were. And then I'd come home and I'd be working on like the next cover. I'd be editing that, because they are like music videos essentially. So they are like more produced, and we put them on Spotify, and there's a bit more involved than like a sitting in like one shot type of thing. And so it was a like, and I think I was doing like 2 videos a month, which on top of a full-time job, like a lot.
Well, I think too that a lot of people don't get, I mean, you touched upon it, but like what's involved with it, with the video, you know what I mean, with the process, because they think, oh, well, you shoot a video and 2 a month, like totally doable. But 2 a month at the level that you do them at, with the professional audio recording and then professional video recording, all the editing that's necessary for both, and is a bunch of work.
It was a good amount of work. I think, it was definitely something that I learned to get fast. Like, as I was learning as I was going to, like, I wasn't I didn't even really know Final Cut very well. So I was like learning how to edit videos, and
you're a pro now.
Now I know all the key. But yeah, so it was kind of grinding it out, and it was really fun, like watching the numbers grow and like watching the comments. I remember like at the time I would like, I had that was my like main email address, that Gmail address that was used with the YouTube account, and I was getting an email for each comment. Like, sitting in my cubicle, like reading these comments, these amazing comments from like around the world, and just like being like, oh, I can see it. I'm so close. Like quit my job, which was just like, that was the goal, really. I didn't even really think past that. I was just like,
you just got
enough that I can just like play music. That's the goal.
Well, and to totally jump in so people don't think I'm ignoring them just because you were saying amazing comments, you literally are getting like, Megan is awesome, Jacqueline and Megan, the golden music makers, but it's everybody from Harrisburg, Melbourne, Australia, Kentucky. Oh, wait, I know I missed one of you guys, and there's just been so many. Oh, love from India, love from Brazil. Megan, when are you coming here? Plain, Augusta, Georgia. Megan, I'm so happy to see you creating and living your dream. Like, you're getting hi from Brazil. Megan, come here, please. You're getting blown up. So I just didn't want to totally ignore that. And do you mind, Megan, as I'm totally interrupting more, you do have a couple questions. Do you want me to interject those now so they don't leave my brain, or do you want me to wait?
Yeah.
I hope clearly I'm loose too. I don't have I just was like, let's jump on and let you tell us some of your awesome stories. So, Dan wants to know, and actually a few different people have asked this.
Yeah.
What is your favorite of your original songs that you've done? Because you've just got fans on here that not only love the covers, but are asking like of your originals. Another person, we love you, Megan. Dirk's watching you from Ohio. Another Brazil, New York City. Thanks, guys. But three different people just here recently have said of your originals, what's your favorite?
So my favorite of my originals, I think, is Only Us. It's a song I wrote. It was on my first EP, Bad Poetry, and I still play it live. It's still like it's always a part of my set. It has like this guitar solo in the middle of it.
I love that one too.
Yeah, it was just one really easily, and every time I play it live, I just it feels like a very authentic, like it is exactly like what I wanted it to sound like and what I wanted it to say. And so I'd say that's probably my favorite. But I mean, I love playing Moonlight live. Like that's just one of my favorites as well. So yeah.
And then I'm gonna says Rainbow Panda. What? Says I'm watching from the UK and Megan, I love your music.
Yes, that's amazing.
So tell me, sorry. So now, and I'll keep looking. Or wait, I think I have. Another one says, kindly ask Megan which one is her favorite song she's written. By the way, Nashville Studio rocks. Thank you so much. But you just answered that, so we're good. I was like, they're popping up from all over. So I'm watching. Guys, and I'll keep being rude and totally interrupting Megan. So I know you got to the point. So like you got to the point on YouTube where you could quit your job and like could focus on this fully.
Yep.
And so how long did that take?
So
roughly.
So the grind that like work week that I described when I realized everything was kind of working out was probably like 7 months of like working around the clock. And around that time, this is kind of hilarious. I feel like I'm just going to share all of my mistakes and then.
But that, I mean, that's is real life, right? That's the reality. It's like so many times people can learn from the positive things that people have done as well as the like, hey, don't do this, you guys. I have loads of those too.
I literally actually baffles me how
yeah.
But okay, so literally so things were like blowing up on YouTube. At this point I'm probably getting 100,000, 200,000 views a video, which was, I mean, it was blowing my mind.
Monster. Yeah.
I was just so excited. But I was also exhausted. But I just wanted to see how I think my strategy at the time was just to see how big I could get it, right? Like how much, like how much can we get it to grow?
Yeah. How many people can you reach?
Yeah, I wasn't really concerned about making money or anything. So I literally I put everything up for free on like SoundCloud. Like I was just like, if someone wants to have it.
All right, that is funny. Up for free, everybody's like, what? Like, how do you live like that? Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like getting paid nothing and like,
yep.
But I'm just like, I wanted to like, for some reason, I thought if I put things up for sale, it would stop in its tracks. Like people, money.
I get that.
Kind of like undervaluing yourself. That was my number 100.
Yeah.
But literally put things up on SoundCloud for a while and had it free to download. And like I logged in one day because I hadn't logged in a while, and it had like, I mean, probably 100, 200,000 downloads.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, even if like a small amount of those people bought from, because iTunes was like the thing then.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I could have quit my job last month.
It's so cute because it was all around that. I could have quit my job earlier.
It's just like, when can I quit my job?
Yeah.
But that was not planned out very well. so then I started putting things on iTunes, and I honestly left it up on SoundCloud for a while because I do think there was a validity to just
Oh,
and
building your community and your
yeah,
fan base and your,
yeah, and typically if people can buy it, they will, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so I grinded it out and waited until like my income was like the exact same, which I wasn't making too much in the music business. So
yeah.
like that's like high. But I did, and it happened, and then there was that first couple weeks of like, oh, okay, now what? Like,
Well, I mean, that's a big step to go from like, I'm not sure if I want to do this to, oh my gosh, I'm going to jump in fully, just full-time musician.
yeah, and it was I mean, it was like a strange transition. It's funny, there's like all these books and stuff on like, and I like got them too, but like how to like spend your day when you're like a creative person, like how to allocate your time to be productive, how to not just like watch Netflix all day.
Yeah. Yep.
There's like people who've done like research on like, this is how this person did it, and this is how, and it's all over the place. Like I forget who, like it was like a painter, I think, or someone who just like took a 3-hour walk every morning. Like,
yeah. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
how do you be creative when you're, and for me, like this whole experience, like this whole career experience for me has been so like free form. Like there's really no, like I am kind of the boss, I'm an independent musician.
Yeah.
I release things when I make them, and and just kind of it feels like pretty like solitary sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you just because I know I want to be mindful of your time too, and as you know, I could just like keep chatting with you. Hour 3 with Megan Davies, and I'm not gonna do that to you, my friend.
Yeah.
I promise. So I was gonna say, coming from kind of jumping to how you got started, everything's kicking off swimmingly. Loads of cool stuff has happened in between, which hopefully we can highlight some of that too. But kind of jumping to kind of what you were talking about, like what some people I think wonder about, and don't have the greatest idea about, loads of different types of musicians, is what does like a week look like, a day look like how do you structure, you know what I mean, how do you need to structure your time when you're like getting ready to release something, and like you're playing some live shows, you're releasing a new video, you're recording with somebody else, kind of what does that look like, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so it depends on like the period of time like you've caught me in. So
Totally.
for COVID, my structure was mostly dictated by like touring, because very quickly I realized that's something I love, is playing shows. And I also feel like it influences the videos in a way. Like it kind of gives me a different energy that I approach like recording with, is when, I've played something in front of an audience, or kind of can feel that vibe.
And
So
you've toured lots of great places.
I've yes, dipped my toe in the touring world in a few different areas, mostly
Countries. Yeah.
mostly here in the United States, but done some like smaller Europe tours as well. But I love it. I love traveling. I love playing music in different places to different people, and meeting them and having conversations with those people. It's probably my favorite part of what I do, I would say.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what, like pre-COVID, a lot of my schedule was dictated by when I was traveling and when I was home. So like if I had 3 weeks at home, I was like, okay, I want to get 2 videos done. And then, so that like, it was kind of dictated by my to-do list in a sense.
Yep.
And then I think what I loved about touring, which I haven't toured in a while, it's like killing me, but what I loved about touring was like you kind of just are on the road. You're just kind of doing it. Like all you have to do is like show up at the show, play the show, get to the next city. It's very like simplified version of living. And then maybe
you're right. You're not like whipping up a meal because there's nowhere to whip it up.
Yes. And so I like when I'm here though, it's, you know, I'll have like a video to work on, or I'll have like a song I'm working on, or some type of production. Sometimes it's, you know, co-writes throughout the week. So if I have a co-write during the day, that's kind of what I'm focused on. But it is very like project based.
Yeah.
So I've kind of had to figure out like what hours do I like working in the studio? Like those, you know, when am I most creative? When am I, you know, exhausted? Like when, you know, it's just those little kind of quirks of productivity that I've. And so when do you feel like, do you have like a spot where you're most creative? Are you like a late night person? I've tried everything. I think I'm most productive in the hours of like 9 a.m. to noon these days.
Me too.
Yeah. And then I like dip in the afternoon.
Yep.
And then sometimes I get like a late evening, like burst of creativity. I don't know where it comes from. Might just be like being tired, honestly. But I've had some like random songs pop up at like 10 p.m. where it's just like, where did that come from?
Do you mind too so we've got some questions. Can I jump in with some of those? One of them is, and I'm going to try to get guys to as many as I can, being mindful of Megan's time too. Where in the world would you like to record live is one of them.
Oh, where in the world?
Yeah, just said, is there somewhere in the world that you would like to record live?
I have to like take into consideration like what the ambience of like the environment would be.
That's a hard one, isn't it? Because I also think like, where would you want a vacation? Because if you're going to do it,
like as I want to go, I don't know necessarily that the audio recording would be great. I personally love the sound of like waves, but the ocean is too loud. So maybe like a lake in like Iceland. I don't know. Something that's picturesque.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I dig it, man. It's a very artistic, obscure lake in Iceland. I like it. Somebody else asked, do you have any favorite tools? I'm gonna guess, Maya, if you have more specifics, I'm gonna guess they probably mean like recording tools, things like that kind of are your jam. You've got some more Australians watching too. Hey guys.
Amazing. Need to go there. So my favorite tool, I mean, my Martin guitar. I'm from Pennsylvania. My acoustic guitar is my my child, really. I like take such good care. I mean, that's really all I need. Like, I have a lot of equipment. I've been very fortunate because I have recorded everything myself up till now, and I do the mixing, and I've kind of learned as I've gone. Like, I haven't spent much money to make things. Even early on, I was just kind of handing a video camera to, you know, like a family friend or whoever was really available and having them help out. So I've just kind of reinvested in the gear as I've gone. And now I have, you know, a pretty functional studio here. Actually, I'm like in it right now.
Oh yeah, sure.
This is the space.
That's where the magic happens, people.
Where all magic happens. Oh, these are all. There's my.
Oh my gosh! Look at your.
I know.
You've got a lot of children. You're like, you need to live in a shoe.
I know. Kind of reading. Don't need this.
It's awesome. That's jealousy that you're hearing from me.
They all serve a purpose. You got like
totally
your baritone back there, and you know your flavors of electric, and there's a bass. That's a colorful bass, but
yeah, nice.
Anyhow, so there's a lot of tools in here for sure. All I really need though is an acoustic guitar, I think, because that's just kind of that's my home base. So.
Well, I was gonna say you went to school for classical guitar. Guitar is like kind of where it starts with you. Do you have just as we're talking about tools, as an awesome singer as well, do you have like a mic that you love when you record?
Yes, my go-to mic these days actually has been this guy right here, um, for like recording demos and everything. I mean, even
Yeah.
pretty. That's it's called a Manly Reference microphone, and I just really like it on my voice. It's funny though, like that could sound like great on my voice and terrible on somebody else's voice. Like,
Totally. Yep.
so, and I've heard, like cheaper microphones sound great on people like better than that. It's so
Yeah.
you just kind of gotta try different ones, see which ones you like. But that's the one I've preferred for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool. And I will go ahead and ask this for the person who sent you the question, but Megan, are you single?
am I? I'm single. Amazing.
Yeah. So I was like, I thought, do I ask you or not? But I was like, I know a bunch of hearts came after that. And this is also, thanks for sharing. You are so gorgeous. Hey, from France. This says, how do you think of your mashups? Like, what makes you, how do you know what I mean? How did those, like, now when you go to do it,
I think
or how do those come together?
it's funny. I will say Jacqueline, my little sister, who is my main mashup partner.
And your voices sound fantastic together.
She is my like yin yang mashup person.
Yeah.
No, entirely how we come up. Sometimes I'm just like, where did this and it maybe comes from a very kind of playful, like we've grown up jamming together, just like singing songs and like not really performing very much together, but like literally just sitting around and playing.
Doing what siblings do if you both like music.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do think Jacqueline listens to a lot of music, and she's really good at hearing a song while I'm singing something else. So I have to give her like a lot of props for that. But sometimes it's I think it's a lot of listening to other music.
Yep.
And then having fun. I mean, we never really, half the time we set out like we're not going to do a mashup. We're going to do just one song. It's too fun. And then we end up doing a mashup because we'll just like stumble on something.
And I have to say, I do, when I listen to so many of your all's mashups, they're not even just like, they're not a typical mashup. You guys will like weave in and out from like half a verse, chorus, like, and it all works seamlessly. So I get the question of like, where do you guys come up with that? But it almost sounds like a lot of times it just sort of happens organically. Like, oh, this sounds cool and it might be cool with this.
It really is so organic, and some of them are really complicated. Like we occasionally will play like a show where we have to like relearn them, for like a private event or something.
Yeah.
And they request like an old mashup we did, and I'm trying to learn these, like, okay, so I sing this song and then I harmonize with you for like 1 second on your song. And I like jump back over and I'm like, what were we doing?
You're like, we are impressive. I don't know how we came up with this.
Where it got just super crazy. I think we did like the top of that year was probably a 4-song Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, so like rap essentially.
Yeah.
And we were just same, like weaving things and
having fun.
But it was there's like a playful, like, having fun. So
yeah, I think that's kind of the organic, playful, and then with a whole lot of technical skill behind it. And that just happens to make like the playfulness and kind of the freedom of it comes through, but just at this incredibly high level. Somebody says, how did you start with your recording and production skills? Was that part of your study, or is that just something you learned as you went?
I took classes in it. I didn't major in it, but I realized really quickly that it was something I wanted to learn and needed to. And I really enjoyed it. Like I think I took like 2 classes in it maybe in college. But I was still, I mean, I'm always kind of like I don't know, picking people's brains if I'm in like a situation where they know more than me. Like, oh, how are you doing that? Like,
Yeah.
what plugin are you using for that? Why did you put that here? I probably like annoyed a lot of people. But you know, it's like you're always kind of in situations where people know more than you. I feel like in this town, I was just always, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Well, and that's great, like to be open to that. I mean, I Nashville for sure. And also just I mean, there's always more to learn, right? Don't you feel like whether it's production, songwriting, guitar, singing, it's like you reach this level that you just like dreamed of reaching, and then what you realize at that level is like, oh, now there's this, and this that like, and I think that's what makes it, I'm assuming for you too, like stay exciting and fun. It's like the learning doesn't stop.
It's true. And I think I've always been someone that's like very thirsty for knowledge and like to
Yep.
learn. Like during the pandemic, you know this, I started playing drums. That was my
Yes.
pandemic activity.
Which is amazing because I mean, you're just like, oh, I just picked up a new instrument. No big deal.
I
Yeah.
like nice because, well, I've always wanted to play the drums, but I do like acoustic music. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how to come into play. Like, there's no reason when everything was, you know, moving really fast that I could dedicate like time to learning the drums. But, you know, pandemic, I started taking drum lessons, and it was actually like a really good way to like let off steam.
I was gonna say you get to beat the hell out of something. Like,
Fun, like turn up music, like rock music loud, and you just play, you know, you hit things with sticks.
yeah, sounds pretty great.
Yeah, I've always kind of been like, I like learning things. It's good for like my mental health too, to like there's so much you can't control, like with like the internet and online, and how your music does and who likes your music and all this stuff. And you know, if I can control whether or not I know how to do this, or like I can do a paradiddle on the drums.
Yeah.
You know, that's like an easy kind of like concrete thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point to bring up too, just because that instability, right, is, I mean, that's part of the creative life and part of the music industry, and then we throw the pandemic in, and still it's just like a big whopping heap of that on top of it. So I think finding ways to prioritize mental health and finding stability within the instability.
Oh yeah.
You can't like over stress how important that is too.
Yeah, I think we were talking about like day to day, like that's something I've had to start like incorporating in, like things that, you know, like working out, and you know, just making sure you're incorporating things that make you feel good.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally.
Taking care of yourself, because especially if you're like self-employed and you're you know, like a solo artist or anything like that, like everything kind of rides on you and how you're doing. And if you start slipping, which I'm not saying I'm like I've definitely had my ups and downs, I feel like, over the past like 8 years, but I've recognized the need to prioritize, you know, that stuff more.
And the ups and downs, I mean, makes you a flesh and blood person, you know. Well, I know here I told Megan, I was like, yeah, like 30 minutes. And so do you mind? I am gonna like tie it all together. So a quick question from them, and then a follow up from that several people have asked about is, when will you be on tour again?
Oh, I wish I could tell.
I know it's that one has come up a bunch.
Right.
So just wondering, when will we be on tour again? And a lot of people saying, come to Brazil, come to Australia, come to Kentucky, come to Ohio.
There's nothing on the calendar right now. I've just been playing some local things, I guess, this year here in Nashville. However, I'm looking at every opportunity to go some new places. So hopefully something will spring up, and and I'll be able to start traveling again. But I'm seeing lots of good signs that, you know, things are opening back up, and, you know, I personally would love to get to Brazil. I'd love to get to Europe again. And honestly, just there's a lot of places I need. Australia as well. But.
Oh gosh, yes. Do you need a roadie, Megan?
Yes.
I'll carry your stuff. Yeah. Well, and then I had another one that left my brain. I'm sure it will come back to me. And people are still saying, loads of people just saying, your voice is amazing, love your music. Loads of hearts and fire and clapping hands. So thank you guys. And can you see all those, Megan? Are you able to? Hopefully you'll be able to say it. I mean, it's a ton. Oh, come to India. And that's actually the third person that's been watching today that said come to India. So I guess come to Brazil, man, Brazil. So I guess my question to kind of end things with, and I'll keep looking though, guys, for other. Oh, somebody else said I'll show you India. Do you have any kind of talking about this whole path that you've been on and all the cool stuff that you're doing and the great parts and the tricky parts and all of that for people who are watching this now or later and thinking, hey, this is something I really want to do. Do you have any, which I know it's hard to do because it's also individualized, but like any advice that you can think of, like, hey, you know, this was really helpful for me, or this is something that's like, I think kind of what you said, you've already said, sprinkled stuff in there. Part of me is like the true to you, organic, playful, all of that I feel like has been a recurring theme, the planning your day and having some purpose. And then I think that incorporating into your day things that aren't just your music, that also add just to feeling good, because that's part of creativity too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's hard because being like a content creator, I guess you could say, is changing so much. YouTube is so different.
Yeah.
TikTok wasn't like around really. I feel so old saying that.
How do you think I feel then?
Together. So yeah, it's as far as like that type of stuff, because, you know, there was some stuff I could say 5 years ago that was like, do this, you know, for better algorithm stuff on YouTube. Honestly, I have no idea nowadays. But I do think like the biggest lesson from my own journey that I've taken is that, like, don't put like all, like, everything into one, at least starting out, like if your path is just kind of starting, you know, don't get discouraged if like one door closes, you know, but also like just be open to different things taking you in different directions. And, you know, I think things just happen unexpectedly. And I still can't believe everything that's happened in the past, you know, 7-8 years for me. But especially, like I've explained, like I feel like I was doing everything. I was pushing against that.
Yeah.
Was actively swimming in an opposite direction.
And it was sucking you right back.
I was so reluctant. It's so funny. Yeah. I was like, no, this is how it's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. And the reality is I didn't know what it was going to look like. And I don't even know that you can entirely predict the way your career, like in music, is going to go. You know, as hard as it is, because I'm like a control freak as well. So, you know, you want to be like, this is what I want my life to look like, and this is what it's going to be. It's not, you know, I think that's what I've learned, is just to be a bit more open. But you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to like sitting and making music and trying to make the best music that you can, write the best songs you can, getting better at your craft, and, you know, focusing on that too is always helpful when it starts to get stressful, that you don't know what direction things are going in.
I think that's the just be open is great advice. And I also see, working with a lot of artists, and I'm sure you have too, but that can be a real stressor for people when they feel like
this is what I'm doing. These are the things that have to happen. This is where I'm going. And
it's the only moment
life doesn't work. Like if you've made those hard plans, you've like, I feel like you've almost guaranteed like, well, that's not happening like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think some flexibility and open to what life brings you is such great advice. But I also think what you hit upon and what you have done so much is like, you have to also be really prepared for when you can be open, but if you don't have preparation behind it, here comes an opportunity and you're not able to take advantage of it. So that's what I was saying. Like with you, you were open, but you also had like years of study and work and focus. And
it's kind of scary how I almost didn't put that video on YouTube. Like I almost, you know, there were so many things that I almost didn't do because I was either afraid it was bad, or I would get bad comments, which I mean I have like over the years, but you know, it's crazy how I almost didn't do a lot of things. But
yeah, I think that's awesome. And I know I keep saying, I swear I'm gonna let you go. Two more questions. One person said, how do you handle like you have so many people, like everybody on here is just like loving you, but it is a reality. If you put yourself out in the public, and especially girl, you put yourself on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, or there are going to be just straight up trolls. Like even just, you know, the stuff I put up there is so minimal compared. Mine's a video on like how to breathe better as a singer. And somebody will say like, your face looks like my ass. And I'm like, what does that have? What are you like? It's a breathing video. So those actually make me die laughing. But one of the questions was like, how do you, when you were talking about like getting all those ticks on your phone, like a bunch of them are going to be nice, but there's going to be some jerks too. Like, how have you learned to handle that?
Oh gosh, this is a $1 million question. I feel like whenever anybody else who has like any sort of like following online, that's like my question I ask them. Like, how do you handle that?
How do you do it? Yeah.
And it's a strange thing because it's funny. You can look at 100 great comments and then there's one bad one and it'll just sting you. It'll sting you like a bee.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
It'll like, and then you'll think about it. Like, you know, and I think I've gotten better at not compartmentalizing it a little bit. Like I've definitely gotten better. Like there were times I remember like one person wrote on one of my videos that you know, that it was something negative, and then they said you're always like making slow music, like your music's too slow or something. And then I was like making a song, like the next song I was making, I was thinking about that when I was picking the tempo, and I was like, I hated it. I was like, oh, like once I realized I was doing that, I was like, I cannot change course, like because you know, random person online. And the way I've had to deal with it is I kind of have to like pick certain times, and then before that, I don't think about it. Like, you know, if there's like an hour in the day, I found this. I don't particularly like checking my phone constantly throughout the day and looking at things, you know, online, and especially during the pandemic, like that kind of became even more. And obviously I've taken quite an extended break from Instagram. So
yeah, you're back, baby. You're back live.
But yeah, I think that's how I've managed it. But it's something I'm still trying to figure out. It's not like when I dreamed of being a musician when I was a kid, that wasn't like something like that was even a thing. So it was like, that is kind of like the new normal of doing anything online really is how to like handle that. So
well, and I love that you pointed out, because it just had a workshop at the studio about, you know, just kind of performance anxiety and the brain and how it just works and wired. And Ingela Onstad of Courageous Artistry, didn't mean to give her a shout out, but shout out Ingela. She said something that really stuck with me, because she was saying like even back caveman days when our brain was just like berry, poisonous or good, our brain wants to find the poisonous so much more than the good, because it's all protect. So you can read 100 comments. That's just how we're wired.
Yeah.
about how amazing you are. And one comment that says your stuff is slow, which is like, one, very subjective, and also not that brutal. And you're like fetal position, not you, but you know what I mean? One is just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that literally sticks in your brain. And all these like, you're amazing. I love what you did with this. You're blah, blah, blah. We just read that and go, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're like almost looking for
Yeah.
the negative ones. And we're just wired like that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And social media kind of plays into that too.
It's very interesting. And it's honestly, I'm not great at that part for sure. But I do think you grow like thicker skin and
yep.
you know, figure out ways to like, honestly, I would hate to think that like, you know, because that was probably the fear about like putting things on YouTube was, you know, I don't want people to comment badly or whatever.
Yeah, totally. I don't want to put myself out there because people could be not nice.
But yeah, like I said before, I would hate to think that I didn't do that. And honestly, it's not, you know, it sucks, but it's not like the worst.
Well, and the thing too is like, if anybody is commenting, they're interested enough in what you're doing.
Yeah.
To jump on there, take their time. Like if it was really, you know what I mean? That's what I always tell people. If you get any comment, it's like, and girl, you just boosted that algorithm too.
Yeah.
Apparently. You are a total queen, Megan. And like clearly loads of people on here love your music and watch you and love you and Jacqueline's voices together. And a lot of people were mentioning they love so many of your YouTube collaborations with other artists. And but for anybody who isn't, go check Megan out. She's got just truckloads of covers and original music on Spotify, and you can go to YouTube and watch nonstop. And I mean, you've spent an hour here just helping people learn more about you and learn more about what you're doing, which is so kind of you. So thank you so much for taking your time to do that.
Yeah, for sure. This was super fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Out of like my Instagram.
And we're going to end on, I wish you could see this, but this is all caps. It's the perfect way. And then we're going to mic drop and just stop. But it is all caps. Love you, Megan, with 5 exclamation points. So
I love it.
There we go. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you everybody for watching.
Bye.
All right. Bye guys.